Watch me. Didn't I do good? First thing in my head was, look what I can do.
Get ready, because you're listening to two nobodies talk about nothing on the #1 podcast in their hearts, The JT and Drew Show.
Ooh, I'm loving that.
Tell you what, you gotta save the turtles, man.
Yeah, baby.
I'm quitting, you weak.
Consider yourself fired.
Thanks for nothing.
Hey, bud.
Hey!
Welcome back. Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
That's right, because we can afford it.
In New York. Not me.
It's pronounced Newark.
Nork?
Newark.
Narc. Oh, don't let the mob hear that. You're going to be sleeping with the fishes.
The fishes?
Yeah, Rod.
Where
I'm really
those-
bad about like northern accents, but
Ma! Yeah. A meatloaf.
where's the milk?
Where my khakis at? My khakis.
Why are you saying khakis? I need khakis.
Yeah. That's about it. All I know that they sound like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Oh,
like-
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Up there by Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Well, how do they sound in Wisconsin?
Same thing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't you know?
Hey.
Do you remember that cartoon? Was it Bobby's World or Bobby?
Not Doug.
No.
Okay. Bob.
Anyway, his mom was like that. Oh, Bobby. Don't you know?
See, now when I hear that, I think of Stuart.
Sure.
Stuart, get here now.
No.
Yeah, look what I can do. I love.
I don't want to.
So okay, so because this is visual, so you know my little one, right?
Yeah.
So this morning she was talking to mom, and she was like, "Mom, yeah, you'll get there."
Yeah.
But she was like, "I'll have to do it." But she was like, "Watch me." Didn't I do good? First thing in my head was, look what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Mom, mama, mommy.
Oh, that's Stuart.
Mommy, mom. What?
Hi.
Yeah. Oh, man, kids.
Oh, kids they're great. You know,
Yeah.
kids they're the one person that you allow to get you so frustrated that you can't see straight. But on like 2 seconds later, they give you the most loving
Oh, yeah.
and fills your heart. And it just, you wouldn't let another adult do that unless it was obviously your spouse, but
Or me.
like, yeah, or you. But you wouldn't let like Jim Bob off the street do that to you. You'd probably knock him out. But with a child, you know, it's innocence.
Yeah.
They're doing it, one, to get you to laugh, because I know my kiddos love it when I laugh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, what? You thought this was funny. I did something good. Yay. But another is just, I think a laughter for them fills them with love and joy, and
Yeah.
they want to
they're
do it again.
creating those memories. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
At such a young age, too.
I call my little one, he's my infinity Sour Patch kid.
Ah, yeah.
Because it's a never-ending cycle, right?
Yep.
He could be sour, and then he's sweet, and then he's sour, and then he's sweet. And I mean sour in a playful way, of course. But
Yeah,
speaking of children,
of course.
this episode's going to be a little
Debbie Downish?
Debbie Downish, a little heavier, maybe.
Okay. I don't like how your face is looking.
It's
Am I going to get mad?
yes.
Oh. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize now.
Yeah.
for my actions in the foreseeable future.
I'd like $1 today for what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Exactly. Also, got $1.
The Buffalo.
Oh, hey, hey, ha.
Oh.
So,
JT.
children.
Children. So there was a foster home.
Oh, here we go.
And if you know about this foster care system, obviously we here in the United States, we have a lot of children in the foster care system.
More than what should be.
More than what should be, and for any number of reasons, right? Whether they were separated from their families and they're going to be reunited,
Yeah.
or maybe their parents passed.
Maybe their parents are drug addicts and they'll never get them back.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the scenario may be.
So there's this foster care center in Hunt County,
Texas.
Texas. Yep.
Be more specific.
They got shut down. They got shut down because they're being investigated. They had an 11-year-old boy that had passed away under their care.
Oh, my goodness.
So these aren't just foster parents, it's a foster home.
Right.
So I don't know how many people run it or what have you, or how many kids literally stay there, but
Yeah.
apparently this kid was crying for help. He had some pretty severe like stomach pains. He was crying and screaming in pain, complaining of a stomach ache, and his cries pretty much went ignored
By the
by the staff there.
staff.
They had an event planned that day. They were going to take the kids to the movies. And they were just kind of, hey, sorry about your luck. Suck it up. We're going to the movies.
Oh, jeez.
So on 27 November of 2023,
So not that long ago.
not that long ago, there were 7 staff members took these kids to the movies. They went to go see Gladiator 2.
Okay. Which, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's okay. You're not missing much.
Oh, okay.
Unless you like that time frame kind of
Yeah.
style of it. It's, I don't know. To me, I felt like they could have done a better job. That's my personal
So the
opinion.
first one was better.
Oh, yeah. The first one's always going to be the best.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, so they went to go see Gladiator 2.
Yeah, they went to go see Gladiator 2. Before going to the movie, the boy voiced concerns that he didn't want to go to the movie. He wasn't feeling well. He felt weak, stomach ache, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The staff say, no, he seemed fine most of the day. So they took him there. At the movie theaters, there's cameras, right? And the surveillance cameras, they show like the boy isn't walking on his own. The staff are kind of having to like carry one arm.
Oh.
And at one point they're just kind of dragging him. But he feels fine, right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like he feels fine.
No. So when they're talking, the staff, when they're talking to the investigators, they're saying, yeah, he seemed fine most of the day. He walked into the movie on his own accord. We don't know what happened. Well, the investigators review the footage.
Right.
They're like, hey, this tells us a different story.
Yeah.
He was unsteady on his feet, not able to walk on his own. It looked like he was about to pass out. Staff were dragging him by the arm. He even fell, and they dragged him down the hallway before picking him up and forcing him into the movie theater. So nothing about that seems right.
No.
Even if the boy's complaining that he doesn't feel well and you think he's faking it, dragging him down the hall.
You should have given you like a red flag of,
Yeah.
hey, okay, there's 7 staffers there. I don't know. How many kids does it say?
20.
Okay, so 20 kids, 7 staffers. I think, and you can tell me if I'm crazy or not, because I don't know what the ratio is, right? Like 1 staffer to 10 kids or whatever, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
I think you could have left 20 kids with 6 staff. I thought that would have been okay if you would have taken 1 staffer home to
Yeah.
back.
The kid back to the
Right.
shelter.
Maybe there's other staff members there that could watch them, and then you drive back to the movie theaters during the movie. Okay, yeah, you're not going to see the whole movie, but knowing that the child is back in care,
Right.
at the facility.
Or had taken him to the clinic
Right.
or
Yeah.
something prior to the theater, and
Yeah, but
gonna
you
get
would
you checked out.
you would think that there might be like a nurse on on staff or on call
Yeah.
or something, because that's kind of how they do it with the special needs houses around here or the old people houses around here. So you would think maybe the foster care would be set up more or less the same way.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Okay. I mean, I'm just making sure I'm not an idiot. I am, but
Yeah, but you're making sense.
okay.
So after the movie, the staff are seen lying him on the floor in the hallway.
Okay.
He's unresponsive, so that's their, okay, well, we'll lay him down, I guess, try to wake him up, whatever. After about 3 minutes, so they've laid him down on the floor, it's been about 3 minutes, they're seen calling 911.
Okay.
And then they attempt CPR.
Okay.
So the
So
kid's
he's
unresponsive.
Unresponsive, apparently doesn't have a pulse.
Yeah,
So now they're doing CPR.
3 minutes later.
Okay.
Because, every second counts. Let's wait 3 minutes. Because that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm super frustrated at this point.
So the cops show up. The boy's dead. He died at the movie theater.
Oh my. They don't know when. Like during the movies or after they drug him out or yeah. Okay.
But I imagine the way I'm seeing this play out in my head is when they're dragging him out and laying him on the floor, he's already dead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going at this.
So the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services is investigating the death. A preliminary autopsy found that the boy had a bowel blockage. It explains the stomach ache.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the first instance that this facility has had. I don't want to say they've been under the microscope, but they've had several issues. They have a history of problems. The investigators have found that there were reports of sexual misconduct between children
Oh my gosh.
and complaints of staff that were physically abusive. In 2011, the facility had received 14 citations, just in that 1 year. 14 citations for allowing fight clubs.
What's the first rule about Fight Club?
Don't talk about it.
Wow. Somebody did.
Yeah. The report stated that some children were choked to the point of turning colors during the fights,
Oh.
and that staff would referee the fights and then even make bets on who was going to win, and even some of the staff members would fight the children.
Get out of here.
Like, don't get me wrong. My brother and me, we used to wrestle
Yeah.
on the bed, roll off, who could do what.
Right.
Never to the point of like, oh, you're turning colors because I'm choking you, or you're almost dead, or like I'm doing this with the intent of hurting you.
Right.
It was play wrestling.
Yep.
This is totally unacceptable.
100%. And I'll share my story. Like my grandmother, when we would go over to my grandparents' house, my
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa, on my mom's side, they had a trampoline.
Yep.
My two cousins and I would reenact or kind of do our own thing for like WWF because WWE hadn't come out yet. So
Yeah.
I'm putting a time frame on it.
Yeah.
But we would do like, it was a trampoline that didn't have the walls on it, so it was just straight trampoline. But we would do the flips. We would do the things. We would choke people out and it was never hard enough. Like, we would do
Going through the motion.
the motions and we're like, okay, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I can breathe. Okay. And then we're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, all right, you're out, blah.
Yeah.
And we would do all that all the time. Never in a bazillion years would we have thought, let me seriously choke this guy out. Like,
Yeah.
never did that to any of my cousins.
Well, you got to imagine the staff are placing bets. I don't see this as like a fun event, Oh, okay, hey, let's go do this, and then afterwards we're all going to get pizza
Right.
or something, like we're just horsing around.
No, yeah.
I'm willing to bet it was, speaking of Gladiator, it was kind of like hey, if you don't win this,
No pudding for you.
yeah, no
Yeah.
pudding for you, and maybe a few extra slaps in the face,
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go sleep in the infirmary.
Yeah, I've got money on you, so you better win.
Yeah. Oh,
Or
I
else.
bet. Oh, I bet.
So
That
it kind of
is
makes sense
insane.
now. Like, oh, hey, let's go watch Gladiator. Because
Well-
they were living that
So
to an extent,
what
right?
year was that? You said 2011, wasn't it? 2011?
2011 is when they got the 14 citations.
Yeah, but one of those being the Fight Club thing,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so 23. So you're looking at 12 years later. I guarantee, I would hope that the staffers that were doing the Fight Club had been removed at that point, all of them.
I would hope.
Anybody that was affiliated with it would have been removed. Now, reality? Probably not. Probably the ones that were like fighting with the kids or betting on the kids, those were probably removed. And you're talking maybe 5, 6 staffers. Okay. But I guarantee you the ones that were like, hey, let's go ahead and like make a chart or all that, maybe those guys weren't, because they were just, they knew about it, but they weren't involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know how do they still stay open?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe it was, okay, we have to get rid of the staff, bring new staff in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, under new management,
Yep.
right? But to have such a history and to still be, again, this isn't like it's a daycare center. This is a foster care. The state is involved.
Yes.
And they're still operating. They're still open. They're still receiving funding, I guarantee. Like, the math isn't mathing for me.
No, it's not for me either. And then, so if things like this are happening, what can the community do to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, that's the hard part, right?
Right.
Getting the community involvement. Fortunately, people that are interested, you can look up your local adoption centers, foster care centers,
Right.
Or, what is it called? Yeah, I guess foster care center. But you can look at those resources and see what your options are if you're interested in adopting or fostering a child.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper? Because I know rumors, right? And I hear this, I've heard this like 30 years ago, so it's been a while. But it's cheaper to adopt outside of the United States than it is in the United States, which is why you have like a lot of families that have, oh, this is our daughter and she's from China, or they're from this or that. What can your elected officials do to make that problem obsolete?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I know like right now President Trump has talked about making it more viable for people or more accessible for people to look at adopting, foster care, in vitro, all those types of
Right.
issues. Or,
Right. So that's nationwide, but what can the state do? What can your county do? What can your community do?
Oh, I mean, they could get involved.
They sure can.
Yeah.
There's an orphanage here in Abilene,
Yeah.
and the community can get involved here, or the community in Hunt County
Yeah.
could get involved and make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Hold them accountable. Talk to your representatives. Have them either put more restrictions on, like, hey, for excuse me, for hiring these staff members, whatever their positions are actually called, they're gonna make it more, not restrictions, but more qualifications, more
Right.
training. Hey, in order to fill this position, you need these credentials. You need to have undergone this type of training, or we're gonna have training every quarter, or whatever it is.
I don't think that works personally.
Yeah.
I don't think the more you train, and here's my thought on it is, we in the government have to do training annually, quarterly, and things like that.
Yeah.
That more or less just, in my opinion, that they don't work.
Well, I think you have to look at retention
Okay.
and qualifications. How do you retain the right staff? How do you attract the right staff?
Right.
Now, if this is going to be, hey, we're looking to hire somebody who's going to be able to watch 4 kids at a time at this facility, and we're going to pay you $8 an hour, you're probably going to get the lowest common denominator. Hey, I'll do it for $8 an hour.
Right.
And I have no education, no training, no really
Experience.
drive.
Yeah.
There's no motivation. It's $8 an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you expect me to do? On the other hand of that, I don't think it's a $50 an hour type of job.
No.
But you got to find that middle ground to attract the right talent. You know, are you hiring people that shouldn't be working around kids? Are you hiring, you know, if I went to school for child psychology and I got my bachelor's degree, do I want to go work for $8 an hour doing this? No.
No.
But maybe that's my passion, but it's like, well, crud. So how do you attract those people? Hey, they're passionate about this. They want to do this. They have the education behind it. You have to find those things. So another example, CNAs.
Mm-hmm.
They're great at what they do. It's a needed position, but they have one of the highest turnover rates in the medical community because I get paid peanuts at this facility, so I don't want to be here, or I don't get paid enough to care.
Right.
So I'm just going to do this minimal effort.
Yeah. Because CNAs are seen as an entry-level position.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying these need to be positions where it's like, hey, you know, like I'm going to go work at McDonald's and I should become rich in 20 years and retire off of it. It's a stepping stone. However, you need to be attracting the right talent into that stepping stone. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? You come work for us. We'll put you in this entry-level position, maybe making $15, $16 an hour. We're going to train you. We'll send you to school, or we'll provide whatever in the benefits package. And you'll have the opportunity in 2 years, in a year, 3 years, whatever it is, to move up to this next level where maybe you're making $22 an hour.
Yeah.
And so forth.
But people get complacent in the position that they're in that they never move. So therefore, people on the lower level can't move up. I see where you're going, but you have to have the people that want the drive to continuously move up to the next position in order for those lower level positions to move
there
up.
need to be vacancies. You can't.
Whether that's Texas itself taking care of the foster system, right? So everything's owned by Texas. You're hiring people within the community, but it's ultimately ran by Texas, okay? Where, like, hey, you're a Texas employee, you're going to work at this facility until I need you to move over here. And kind of like how the government, where we PCS or permanent change.
Yeah, there's an opening. You know, you
fit the bill. We could see you progressing over at this
promoted.
facility.
Here's the new position, and it's at a facility across town.
Right, and promote within instead of outside.
Yeah,
because the within people know how things are working instead of like, hey, we have a project manager position coming up, and the only people that can fill it are managerial positions. So we're going to hire Susie that worked over at CNN because she has a better resume.
Right.
No, we need to hire within. I think that ultimately would be the best route. Now, does that happen? No, because you have Margaret over here who's been a nighttime manager for 10 years, and she absolutely loves it because that's where she sees herself, and she doesn't want to go past that. She makes good money. She's established her family in this community, so she doesn't want to move off to anywhere else. Okay, well, what about the people under Margaret?
Yeah.
Can you look at them? They don't hold a manager position, but maybe the assistant manager is looking.
But that all boils back down to employee development. How is the organization investing in their employees?
Yeah.
Or are they?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not being invested in, do you still find value in that job? Do you care?
I don't think it. Yeah. Again,
what's your motivation?
It depends
Is your
on the
motivation
person.
to move up? Is your motivation to, dude, I don't care. It's $8 an hour. I only need 10. I'll sit here and do this stupid job and only do $8 worth of it an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't care. oh, the facility down the street is offering $10 an hour, and I just started this one last week. Well, I'm going to jump ship here and go to that
over
one.
there because I got 2 weeks of experience here and they don't require any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to say that people that take these low-paying jobs are inadequate or undereducated or nothing like that. Unfortunately, they do attract a lot of that because it's easy. Yeah. Oh, I don't need any experience, or I don't need this. Shoot them. Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Or I'll get my certification within the 2-week onboarding. Okay.
And bounce.
Yeah. And then I'm done.
So
it's a real tragedy what happened
Yes.
to this child and what happens to most children in the foster care system, because you hear a lot of horror stories.
yeah,
But we do have to remember that the good does not get praised. Maybe there
Right.
are foster facilities that don't have this, but we don't hear about them because the kids that come out are pretty good.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And another angle to think about too is how much of the stuff is happening that isn't being reported.
exactly. Yeah.
And unfortunately, stuff can't be fixed if it's not known about.
Correct.
I think in this particular example or case, I think obviously stuff had been reported. Maybe it was addressed, maybe it wasn't, but I think they should have been under a finer microscope. And I think possibly the system failed.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know, they did not stop this. Maybe this could have been prevented.
Could have been.
But anyway, how can you get involved, right? How can you? The National Council for Adoption says that their goal is to reduce child maltreatment rates, reduce time spent outside permanent family care, and reduce time frames and numbers of children awaiting adoption. So they've got really good goals.
Yeah. So how do you get to those goals? You can't make a family adopt somebody,
No, you definitely can't.
and you can't advertise them as Heart of an Angel commercials like they do with the
dogs.
dogs and the kids.
Yeah, I think making it more publicly known. You know, there are a lot of families out there, husbands, wives, single people, whatever, that aren't able to have children,
Right.
that would love to adopt,
Yes.
love to foster.
The
all that kind of
process
stuff.
is so hard.
It is a hard process. It's a very lengthy process, and even more so, I think, my own opinion, with the foster care, because you can foster to adopt, but it's not like you're just going to the store and, you know, oh, I want that puppy. Okay, let me sign some papers. That
Yeah.
puppy's mine. I get to take it. It's mine.
Yeah.
Because when you're fostering, you're dealing with other family elements.
Yes.
Is that child going to be permanently in the system? Are their parents temporarily out of the picture and then they'll be back in, so they're going to get their kids back? Or does that kid have a long lost aunt in Nebraska who just found out about them, that's never met them, but wants to take custody?
Right.
There are lots of variables.
Exactly.
So it's not easy by any means, but it is an option. So I definitely recommend looking up your state's foster care, adoption resources information. It's a quick, easy Google search. If you live in Texas, a good starting point could be to check out the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services for more information. And yeah, I think as
Reach
far as
out.
doing your part would be spreading awareness.
Yeah. Spreading awareness, reaching out maybe to those foster facilities,
Yeah.
and letting them, maybe doing like a community, like a picnic or an
kind of
outing,
an outreach kind of.
and say, hey, we're doing this. It's going to be for the community. Let's bring those kids out and let's get them some good food and some entertainment. And we got rides, and, you know, embrace them as part of the community.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I think the children are the real victims in this.
yes.
They didn't choose it.
No.
You know, they're there because of somebody else's decisions or circumstances.
Misjudgments.
And hate to say, product of their environment, but they have opportunities. And maybe you could be that opportunity if you're looking for it,
Exactly.
So,
And you never know. You might fall in love with one
yeah,
and adopt them.
that's what I did with JT. Hey, son,
Leave me alone.
go to your room.
Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if you like the setup.
Yeah, we like it.
And Drew doesn't care if you don't. Bye.
Bye.
As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.